Welcome to the Mediocre to Magnificent podcast. I'm your co-host, Braxton Matson, and your host, Lee A. Williams, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in because you are what makes this pure magnificence. You are the ripple effect of magnificence, and we are going to bring you a message that will give you insight, inspire you, motivate you, and challenge you to not only grow in your magnificence, but let you know that you are magnificent in everything you do. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Lee, man.
Yes, sir.
We are here.
Man, we are, man.
I like the shirt, man.
Oh, you like the shirt?
You can see it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they can see it.
Yeah.
You scoot back a little bit, got some more words on.
That's pretty nice. I like that shirt, man.
Yeah, man.
You're changing it up, man. You got some new items.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. I'm going to have to get me one.
You going to get one?
I'm going to get one.
You're going to get one. You're going to get one. You're going to probably get more than one. Really? Really, man.
But yeah.
But that's funny because the shirt is Miracle Territory is a mindset.
Miracle Territory is a mindset.
Yeah. And so, one of the M's is
mindset.
Mindset. So it's like,
it's huge.
I got into my creative bag, so to speak, and it was like, I had a couple shirts made for a couple of the M's.
Yep.
But I was like, well, we need a shirt for each one of them.
Yeah,
like a brand, a logo. So I'm like, just playing with it and figured out some things. Huh? And this is what I came up with. So
Miracle.
I probably should scoot back a little bit so they can really see. But
I need to flip the camera around so it ain't mirrored like that. But
it's all good.
Yeah, they check it out.
They can see it. But yeah, so what we're talking about, man, is your progress in life begins in your own mind, man. What do you think about when I say that, man?
That is the total, complete truth. It is. It's in your mind. It's always in your mind.
It's in your mind, man. And
it
then
really is.
If we take it biblical, because we like keeping it biblical. Look at that. Living according to the word. But by beholding you become changed. So then if we say, okay, well, what steps are you willing to take to make this year different? So if I were to put you on the spot and say, hey, what steps are you willing to take to make this year different for yourself?
For me, mine kind of resonates with just the disciplinary side of doing things.
Like in something specific?
Well, we could talk about from a biblical standpoint, biblical reading.
Yeah.
So not just reading it.
Yeah.
But taking the time to be okay, I'm going to read. And this is where from a mindset standpoint, you want to do all this all at one time, and it's that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Just take one little snippet. One thing, read it, and then write something down about it.
Oh, really?
Write something down. Okay, what does it mean to you? What does that thing mean to you?
Yeah.
And then just do some references on it. Get some understanding, or read it from a different, even with the Hebrews. That interests me because everything goes back to Hebrew.
Yeah.
And it's that's so important to understand Hebrew. Because there's stuff that you read and the way it's said in ESV or King James, the meaning is so much more than just you just saying that.
Yeah.
Especially from the Hebrew. If you we can water down words.
Yeah.
But back at that time, that word could have meant something huge.
Oh, it's
massive,
huge. Yeah, so you've been getting into that.
So yeah, it's like just
That's good.
like doing it, like the baby steps, man.
Yeah.
It's always just taking one step forward at a time. You don't need to take a leap or a bound.
Yeah.
And it's just being disciplined in it and understanding, okay, you may have not have done this,
Right.
but you did this.
Yeah.
And always look at the positive sides of it.
So you should like basically saying like not reading just to say you read it, but to read it to internalize
read it to internalize it.
To write it upon your heart.
Because I mean, I could flip an audiobook. I mean, I could turn the Bible app on and audiobook the thing like crazy.
Just let it
Put
go.
it on 1.5 speed or whatever.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? You could do that.
1.5 speed.
You could do that. But it's like, just internalize it. Even if you don't get the full thing.
Out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth speaks. And we don't even hear any word of God coming from you.
It's the discipline.
We actually went somewhere, man, and I'm probably going to have to tell him about it. He probably listen. He might know it's him, but it's like, man, he was just dropping curse words. And it's like, and I'm not, so, because people that might be listening to this know me, it's like, oh, yeah, you used to curse like a sailor, man. Like,
right.
Law enforcement day, we know, like, you're just dropping bombs. But to say now, and people that know me, and the person that, and the people that are listening to this might end up being like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Lee hadn't been showing up that way.
Right.
But out of the abundance of your heart,
your mouth
speaks. Mm-hmm. So if you're 1.5 in the Bible on the app, and all you're really trying to do is just get the
Cliff Notes.
What's the thing like? They're like, oh, you streak.
Oh, the streaks. You know, everything's got that now, man.
Now.
Yeah, everything.
Like,
there's a streak. There's like, you got the Snapchat thing with the streak. You got, even the Bible app has the streak thing going.
Right. That's a problem.
It is, because it's more.
I mean, I'm not gonna say like people, because I have a client that's like, oh, I've had my 450th day on, and that's wonderful.
It is.
If you're saying like for your language study, because there's a language app that does a streak for your Bible reading and prayer. I get it.
Exercise, all that stuff. It's got it. Yeah.
But what streak is the Lord see?
That's the thing. Yeah.
Like, does it say, like, if we go back to your example, oh, I just read it for the sake of saying I read today, or I just read it for the sake of on the app getting the streak checked off. But by beholding I become changed, I hadn't even behold the true meaning. And then you mentioned it saying, man, I gotta take it back to Hebrew.
Yeah. Like, okay, what does the Hebrew say about it?
I gotta go back to the original. I gotta get back to, I mean, people gotta at least be like, okay, well, it's in this version. I gotta get back to the Septuagint.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what's that? You might need to up your game if you don't know what that is.
Right.
And then you got to take it even further back. So it's just, but the thing is, we kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent, but it's okay, because anytime you start talking about the word of God, is fine. So it says, what steps are you willing to take to make this year different? And you said, very good, discipline.
Discipline. That's a big one.
And you said like, okay, well, you went to the word and how you're going to read, so let's just take it for everybody watching, listening, that it'll go to the next level. It's like, where else in your life does you need discipline? Like, if let's just go down that vein.
Movement. Let's talk about movement.
Let's talk about movement.
Movement's huge.
One of my mentors said, what would your life be like if you did what you said you were going to do at the beginning of the year? All year long. And I'm saying it in that vein, because if we apply it to the movement piece and said, well, you said you was going to run a couple times a week. You said you was going to do some yoga a few times a week. You said you were going to punch the heavy bag a couple times a week. You know, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm saying stuff that might be personal to you, but it's not. I'm not attacking you.
Right, yeah.
This applies to everybody.
Whatever, yeah.
I'm going to go to the gym a few times a week. Get your movement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 6 months from now, you're like, where would your life be in the 8M of movement if you did what you said you was gonna do?
It'd be better.
So then what do you think ends up being the disconnect, man? Truly.
It's discipline.
But why do people lack it? Where does it, like, if you know, say, okay,
It's
even, we keep it simple.
it's
So
not having a firm foundation or something.
if we say, hey,
yeah,
I mean, because yeah, I don't want to do you like that. But if you, it's so funny because you end up like, especially like when you're friends and your family, coaching clients, whatever. It's like, so much and you've been in their life so much. So you're like, so the way my mind processes information, I could literally give you an example of like,
right. Yeah.
and it's like, well, I don't want to do that to you. But for the sake of this, I can't share it so you can know where my mind went.
Yeah.
But I promise I'm not trying to do like that. So the thought process is like, what happens if you say, hey, because I was thinking about push-ups. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to do 20 push-ups today. And I think, wasn't there a time that you did some challenge years back?
What was it?
It
like
was some kind
300
of
push-up challenge or
I
something
don't know.
like
It
that?
was some kind of challenge. And I remember it. I was like, oh, man, Bryson getting huge. He getting swole. And you were doing it. But that's where my mind went.
Yeah,
but that wasn't the point.
Uh-huh.
The point was, even if you said like, yeah, I'm going to do 20 a day.
What is it for?
Like, how long
that's
does
the
it
question
take
you gotta
before
ask.
you're like, okay.
Why are you doing 20 push-ups?
I don't know.
That's the thing, though.
I don't know. I'm just saying this for example. If we're tying it into this example in this lane, it's like, okay, well, my movement needs to improve, so I know what push-ups will mean.
Right.
For my overall strength and my overall health, I'm gonna do something. So you're like,
yeah.
And it's like, if you just stick with that, the thought process is, if it was brutal at the beginning, you could barely do a few. And then, but you stayed with it. You got to the point where like, man, I'm banging out 20. And you're like, man, now my 20 is 50. It's like, where does that look like? And you name the time, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, next time, next year. And it's like, but then you said it all starts with discipline. And I just want to see, like, where do people fall short?
Yeah.
Of it. And some of the stuff people make out to be like something that is not. Like, say for instance, if we were to say, okay, I told my wife, I'll be transparent. That's who I am. I don't mind. I've been going to the gym, doing my movement thing, meals are real. Like, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm on the game. But I told her, I said, hey, you know what changed the game for me? She said, what? I said, I gotta go to the track. I gotta go to the trail. She said, what you got? I said, I gotta run. So what's that one thing, the steps that you're willing to take to make it different?
Right.
So if you're like, well, push-ups is the one thing, or I don't want to hold planks, or I don't want to do bicycle kicks, or I don't want to do reverse crunches. I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I don't get on the pull-up bar. And it's like, we're just talking movement, but it applies. It applies. You know it applies. We're gonna go several other areas, but the thought process is like, the thing.
Yeah. It's that
but
one.
Don't do the thing.
It's the thing that you don't want to do, or that makes you uncomfortable.
That's what you gotta go do.
That's what you gotta go do. Yeah, and that's in everything, not just this movement. Like that's everything.
Like the same way if you're saying, we can go back to the biblical, reading the word. Like, what you don't want to do. We're keeping it real, right?
It really is.
You don't want to understand the word to the level that God intended the word, because you might have to
do some work, put the work
let some stuff go, give up some things. Yeah. There might be some sin revealed. You're like, oh man, I just wanted to get the streak. I didn't want to. I didn't want to have the light shine. I didn't want the microscope. I don't want to be under that.
That's what it is.
Like, oh well, that's what it is. But there's something that you can face that'll change. So what do you think? Well, like, if you say so far you got the reading is a thing. Yeah. But reading it to understand the origin of what it truly is, that's wonderful. Yeah. So because if you behold the truth, you'll become more like the one that was the truth, Christ. So then if we're like, oh well, here we are, man, if I actually go run, right? Like, I'm not saying, oh yeah, well, hey, Lee signed up for a marathon next week. Hey, I know a man that You know him too, don't you?
Who?
Like, oh man, I'm going to run 100 miles.
Oh,
Ultra.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, what you mean? Like, I ain't had no training. I had nothing. I'm running. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And did it. So that might be for some an extreme case.
Yeah.
But we started off with miracle territory as a mindset. So when we say, oh, it's extreme, why? He just set his mind to something.
Yeah.
The same way you can set your mind. But your progress in life begins in your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
So what steps are you willing to take? So if I say, man, I told my wife, I said, I might have to start doing the gym stuff I'm doing, the martial arts stuff I'm doing, and the trail running. Or the tracks.
Running.
Like, if I'm going where I say I'm going,
you're going to have to.
2 days, baby.
Yeah.
Did it in football.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. You're going to have to.
What was I doing it for then?
Right.
So here we are. So if you say, okay, what's your one thing?
Mm-hmm.
You said what? What did you say?
Discipline.
I mean, I know the discipline, but if we're talking about the movement aspect, do you like? If I say I got to go run, what would you say you got to go do? Or is it a specific exercise, specific movement? Like you got to do squats, you got to do deadlifts, you got to do like, and it's overall that'll change your.
It's the core side, like dealing with core.
Anything that's cool.
Yeah.
So we got to bang out some planes.
I really like full body stuff. Like I like the full body workout stuff.
Yeah.
So
you got to do that more.
Yeah.
Can't just go in there and be like, oh, look at me.
Like
I'm
I can't like,
chest.
yeah, if I go like, I'm going to do dumbbells and arms and shoulder. Like I'm not kind of that kind of person. I like doing the full thing.
Yeah.
Because you get more out of it. I mean, I'm not looking to bulk up and get huge.
Yeah.
I just want to like.
Yeah. That's it, man.
That would be mine. Definitely the core workout stuff to hit cardio. That thing would be me.
That's your groove.
That would be the one where I know I can get the most out.
So you're going to do it this year?
Yeah.
You're doing it?
I'm doing it.
You've been doing it?
Not yet.
Oh, what you mean?
I've been sick for the last 2 weeks.
I'm glad you're feeling better, man. I know you had texted me. I said, man, I'm glad you're still
amongst the living. I'm still alive.
Still among. I'm happy you're still amongst the living.
But that's how. So I was like, no, it's got to change. But it deals with the discipline side, saying, okay, like with the movement, if you want to do HIIT, cardio, exercise, what can you do now?
So burpee's your friend.
Yes. Unfortunately, yeah, they're gonna have to be my friend. They're gonna have to look forward to that. Burpees are rough too.
You have to look forward to those.
Yeah.
That's it, man. That's
it, man.
And then
the uncomfortability. You got to find the uncomfortability stuff.
Yeah.
Like when you say, I don't want to do it.
But see that, and that's the thing.
You got to do it.
If you want to know a hack, if you want to know another hack, another level of a hack, right? You have to get to the level of whatever that is.
Yeah.
That you pick is that, so if we're doing it in the movement lane, so if I'm saying like, okay, the running used to be a suffer fest, that's fine. You suffer fast.
Right.
You get to the point where you do that, and no matter, especially if you're talking about the high intensity training to hit, to get to the point where to say, hey, my run is my rest.
Yeah, man.
My burpees is my rest.
Is the rest. Yeah. You get to that level?
That's the goal.
Man. Whew. Yeah. That's the level right there. That's where you need to be.
Miracle territory is a mindset.
Right.
Like whatever used to be like, oh man, the avoid.
Whatever used to be the suffer fest.
You like that. The avoid, the suffer fest is this is rest, man.
Yeah. That's
rest. Or like when Calvin came with me to the gym. I love you, brother. That's all I'm gonna say. But my wife been coming too.
Yeah.
So we say, we do something. We do the assault bike, or we do the row,
the rows,
something like that.
Uh-huh.
It's like I looked over. That's just warm up, man. He'll know exactly.
Oh,
Calvin will know exactly what I'm talking about. But like,
That's just warm up.
That's just the warm up.
What?
We haven't even started the workout. But yeah, but that has to be, how do you prepare your mind?
How
to
does
be,
man
to say
if
that
you
you're in a restful place.
yes, but that's you have to put yourself in those situations to understand. Like you're fully capable of doing this.
Fully, just like you're reading your word, like
Yeah,
you're fully capable of understanding.
right,
Like it's not no trick. Read to understand.
right.
So then we said some mindset stuff. We said some movement stuff. What about meals, man?
Oh yeah, that's a big one too, man.
What are we talking about if we say, hey, what steps are you willing to make to
Mine
take
would
this year, make
if
this
it
year
had to
different?
deal with meals for me, it's definitely meal prep. Like the meal prep
The prep.
is gonna.
So what is
that
that like?
would be a
How
huge
when you
one.
say prep, like are you talking about weeks at a time, like a week
I'm
at a
talking
time,
about like week,
or 3 or 4 days
every
at a
week,
time? What are you talking about?
because we'll like it's every week. It's a week thing.
So are you
But
saying
like that's
prep
prepping meal, like dinner,
just knowing what you're making, or it's made and packaged and
knowing what you're making.
Oh, okay, knowing what
Nah,
the
it
meal
may
is.
for me it made it like if it's because going to work. So prepping may be lunch. That may be for me. I need to prep lunch. I need to do that before the day of.
So what happens when you don't prep, man?
Oh, it throws everything off. I mean, it will. It will.
It throws everything off to the point where you go eat something that you're not supposed to.
It can
or
do that.
You're saying
I've had that happen to me before.
It isn't as smooth.
I know. I've had that happen to me before in the past. Where
me too.
If I don't prep, I'm like, well, I'll just go grab something after lunch. That happens, but that throws everything off. And then it's like, okay, well, if I can't, but that's the biggest. It's not even. It's just the fact that you just have to prep it.
So what day is y'all? What day is your prep day?
Well, we
ideal
prep day.
You're trying to help somebody else.
Ideal prep day for me to prepare for the week.
Yeah,
would be a Sunday.
Yeah, during the day.
So I'd have a list.
Just
planning it out.
Knowing, okay, Monday we're eating this, Tuesday we're eating this, Wednesday we're eating this.
Because what is it, Thursday? Usually we get groceries Thursdays.
Thursday's groceries. Because we get groceries Thursday. Like, what day is the grocery day? Like, I mean, if you're prepping, but then you don't have what's on the list, well, I mean.
So here's the big thing, though. You gotta prep for groceries. Yeah. To get the groceries, and then you gotta prep for the meals.
It's a lot of prep.
There's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of prep. It's a lot of discipline, it seems like.
Yes, exactly. There's a lot to it.
It's a lot.
But it's going to be worth it. It's valuable.
If you just ate the way you knew, you should. Look at that.
You should.
And I'm just gonna because there's levels to the food thing. I'm writing the book, meals, chapters, the whole deal, figuring this out, knowing the game, knowing the journey that I've been on.
Yeah.
There's a whole process in this. But everybody listening, right, including me and you, understands that there is certain things that you should
don't put on that list,
or you should stay away from it.
Yes,
we can at least agree.
We know it.
We know. So then, if you just was like, okay, are you willing to take the steps to be like, I'm gonna eat more of fill in the blank. I'm gonna eat less of fill in the blank.
Right. Yeah.
And if you did that for fill in the blank, look.
Right. How much more beneficial would it be? Where would you be?
Yeah. And this, because you're we're doing this. No, we're not. We're not doing that. What steps are you going to take to make this year different? And the 8 M's just ends up being a nice baseline.
Yeah.
So you're saying meal prep. I'm taking a step further saying stop eating crap you're not supposed to. Start eating stuff that has nutritional value.
Right.
Add a little bit more kale to your life.
Kale.
I'm just being silly. Right. You need some more vegetables. Pal.
Veggies.
You need a few more vegetables in your life. Less cookies, more veggies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Huge.
I know I did the fill in the blank version, but now I actually said a veggie and a cookie. You get it. You get the example. So if we're also, what are we talking about, man? We're talking mindset, movement, meals. You pick the next M that we talk about. You pick it. Whatever one. You know them.
Meetups, man. Let's talk about meetups.
Talking about meetups?
Meetups, man.
So what do you think about that, man? Like if you say take and make your life different this year as far as meetups, what would you say? Like you gotta
it would be like getting out and doing things with other people. Because here's the thing. We get on this whole movement deal. If we get on this whole movement deal, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna exercise, I'm gonna do all that. Yeah, you can do it by yourself. But like, I mean, you could invite people. Yeah. You could do things other than just go to the gym. Yeah. You could get involved in a sports activity.
Oh, of course, man.
Like all kinds of stuff.
I mean, it's funny.
But it's like the interaction side of it. Like meeting people. Yeah. Like even with doing D groups or something with your church. Being able to go out and just interact. Yeah, yeah. That's huge.
Had the community had a hike, man.
Yeah, I know you invited me.
Yeah, I know. And the thought process, man, that was cool having the community go out on a hike, man, be out there together, get some movement in, checking in, that networking piece. Yeah. You can't compete with that. So then some of it, the way I always like to talk about the meetups, it's like, I know we tied it back into movement, but a lot of people with the entrepreneurship or even just within their hobbies, of stuff that they like, that they enjoy, that there's opportunities for you to get together with people that they enjoy those same things. Yeah. So like you said, you don't have to do that alone.
Well, and here's the other thing. You do that. Say you're doing something with your movement with other people. Yeah. Man, that's like a foundation of accountability.
Oh, yeah, an extra more built-in accountability.
Man. Like it's a built-in thing.
Like, where you at? I ain't seen you.
Right.
Like, well, I didn't say I was going to come every week.
Right.
Well, I thought you said what steps are you willing to take? Change your life. This was one of them, man. What happened?
But it does add that extra layer of accountability. Plus, it's more of a motivational thing, too. Especially if it comes to like a hobby or something you love doing. Yeah. And you're able to meet other people and all that kind of stuff.
So you got 10 more meetups on them.
Yeah.
Stop being a loner, man.
Stop being a loner.
Exactly. I'm talking to somebody.
But yeah.
You got to go be social.
Like go be social.
Even the person that thinks like, oh, well, I'm an introvert. I'm not social. It's like.
Humanity is not designed that way.
Especially when you want to start talking about like, oh, well, you're the light of the world.
Yeah.
You're the salt of the earth.
You got to be. Yeah.
You want to be able to share righteousness with people and you're staying to yourself. It's like, what?
Yeah.
There's a place for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I always love meetups, man.
But that's a good one. That's a good one.
Network is your net worth.
I like that.
The sum total of the people you hang around. You're it.
Yep.
You hang around 4 broke. You're the 5th. We could be talking about money, but be broke. There's a lot to it,
yeah. I mean, it does help a lot. Like you'd be surprised how a network.
Be broke emotional.
Yeah.
Go around somebody that's like just broke, and you're like, Lee, why are you doing like that? Not saying that.
Yeah.
You could say if you're around them, that they affect me, but what if I have miracle territory as a mindset? And the way I carry myself and the way I live my life, I'm infectious. And there's no way you're going to be able to come around me for any amount of time and stay broke.
Yeah. Right.
That's a different. You're going to come around me and stay broke?
That ain't happening.
And stay mediocre?
That ain't happening.
It's not possible.
That's not happening.
But you have to be able to say, okay, well, am I going to put myself in a position to be around someone like Lee?
Yeah.
So we could. That's a nice segue, easy transition right into mentors.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Like, who do you look to in your life? Mm-hmm. Even if it's like I just need a little charge, a little motivation.
That's it.
Like little optimism. Let Lee speak life. Let Lee speak magnificence. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, you're not you're not putting yourself in that environment. You're not putting yourself in that energy. If you would just take that step to say, hey, I'm going to be, I understand my schedule, my life, my work, my whatever, prior commitments. It's like, but I'm going to be more diligent this year
on mentors
to say I'm going to get around the group.
Right.
Get tapped in with my mentor.
Right.
My coach, my whatever.
Whatever it is.
My God.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see where this thing goes.
Right.
I'm going to have the discipline to stay consistent with it. That's
the key,
who
man.
knows, right?
That is the key.
So that's how manifestation. I know we didn't do meditation. So if you say, okay, well, if I would meditate.
Meditation is a big one for your mindset, though.
Yeah, it ties in.
It really allows you to take that healthy pause.
Especially if you do your breath work with it.
Focusing
on your breath work.
The breathing part.
And then you're like, man, like my energy throughout the day, my focus throughout the day, my sleep at night when I did. Now, I know you have to get up to a little bit higher. Like, I know I always coach and tell people, like, just start somewhere. So this isn't a just starting instance. This is a thought process. Like, if you're doing like a minimum of 20 minutes of like the whole deal, you're going to see some changes in some other things in your life physically, in your physiology. Damn. So it's like, I'm going to be diligent. If I'm at the person that's just starting out at lower times, that's fine. I'm going to get up to the higher times, and I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to be consistent to see those changes. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You put the time frame out to see, okay, well, how my life changed by being consistent with that. But then it's like the manifestation piece is where we're going. But I didn't want to not talk about meditation because we've talked about all that.
Meditation.
It's only right. Part. It ain't 7 M's, it's 8 M's.
Right.
So then the thought processes end up, but it's manifestation. But the thought process is listen and silent are spelled with the same letters. Think about that.
Yep.
So it's like, and you think it's like, oh, well, Lee, especially the people that know the brand. People that know the brand is like, Lee, you only did 6 M's and then you're going to go to manifestation. That's 7. You still haven't did 8. It's 8 M's. But listen and silent are spelled with the same letters. Yeah. So where are you honoring your message? Every one of us has a message. We have it. It's in us.
Yeah.
He created us for a certain reason, for a certain purpose, at a certain time, a certain way, and we have to listen. Or you really do. We need to meditate on it and get silent. Spelled the same way.
Yep.
And honor that. But then that is what's going to transcend into you're going to manifest everything that you want. Or everything that he has for you.
Right.
Especially if we go back to the beginning when you said you're reading the word to understand, that means you're choosing righteousness. So there's no way you're going to run the play of righteousness and not manifest more righteousness.
Right.
And then if you say, okay, seek ye first the kingdom of God, everything else will be added unto you. What is the everything else will be added unto you? That's the manifestation we're talking about.
Right.
But you have to live according to the word to get the full grasp of this thing. But so, there's our authors, the one thing, and I'm not saying that in a tonality, say like, oh, the one thing. It's very important. You have to find the one thing. But I always like to drive it deeper, drive it home. It's multifaceted. The way we've made it multifaceted, there's one thing that could prepare your life for it. I get that. I totally grasp it. I agree with the concept. But then at what point do we say, well, I went out and ran, but I ate crap.
Yeah.
So there's one thing in several areas, several levels.
Yeah.
Just to do an example of that. So yeah, man, I just, people get into the 2024,
New Year's resolution.
I know we're not going in that lane. We're staying away from that total lane, but it'll still be nice for this episode to just be apparent, like getting back to the basics. And then the 8 M's are out there. If you don't know them, you have to go back and listen. If you got to go to the website and get the checklist, or whatever, however you go about it, and know that we end up knowing the things. It's like, yeah, man, I'm not doing enough of that.
Yeah, we know,
and I got to do more. But if you would just do what you said you were going to do, where will your life be and what it will look like? So
yeah, I mean, really sit with that question.
That's what I'm talking about today, man. And just miracle territory is a mindset. You're capable of choosing. Choose magnificence.
That's it.
That's it, man. Feel good about it.
Feel magnificent about it.
Oh yeah, I was testing you, man. Till next time.
This is your co-host here, Braxton Matson, and Lee and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it just as much as we did making it, but we couldn't do it without you. So please hit that like button, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know what topic or subject that you would like us to talk about in your journey from mediocre to magnificent. But most of all, share it. Be the ripple effect of magnificence and know that you are magnificent in everything you do. Till next time.